We need to be more diligent about saying rate, review, like, and subscribe at the end of these things.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I can find some cheesy ad music and we could have a mid-segment ad for ourselves.
Oh, God.
Listen, friend, do you know what cures tired blood? It's this podcast. Share the gift of a longer and happier life with your loved ones by liking, subscribing, rating, reviewing, and emailing personal endorsements of this podcast.
I personally preferred a hex on the people around you if you don't immediately forward this to 10 of your friends type approach. With fear motivate.
We can just alternate by episode. Tennant can bring the sugar and you can bring the spice. Thank you. keep our listeners on their toes.
Totally down with that. I've got decades of political research backing me in to suggest that fear motivates and negative campaigns are more likely to be successful.
All right, so give us your negative pitch, Frankie.
Gee, I don't know. I mean, climate people are pretty self-loathing to do what we do. So there's something in that.
You're not doing enough to save the climate.
Yeah.
Right?
Like if you're not using all your spare time reading papers with us or listening to this podcast, are you even legit?
So we could turn the public service that this podcast is, of us reading the papers and sharing it, in just a guilt trip.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Here we are on our 3 high horses, galloping and trouncing all your good intentions. You're clearly not doing enough.
Look into the eyes of your child or youthful relative and think, am I doing enough to combat the climate crisis by rating, reviewing, liking and subscribing this podcast?
Every day in the first year of my child's life, I take a step back and think, it was a good thing to start this podcast now, giving back to humanity. What are all of you doing with children? Where are your podcasts in the discretionary time you don't have? Oh, sorry. That was a little too close to home, that one.
All of us have a duty to leave this precious jewel of a planet a little better than we found it by liking, subscribing, and rating and reviewing. Let me sum up the podcast that is the key to the betterment of humanity.
Wow. I would like that. You were kind of really down on everybody, but then there was like a pick-me-up at the end.
Absolutely.
It's just a sprinkling of sugar on the spice.
Just so long as it's like 90% spice, because okay, you don't want people to leave feeling like dreadful about themselves, but guilty enough that they should subscribe, rate, and review.
This is why, if any of our listeners were wondering, we are the Global Vice President for Marketing and Extortion. Let me sum up, .net.